The Gilded Age Season 3 continues to be an amazing ride as Episode 2 proved that true love does not prevail all, in the most realistic but heartbreaking way possible. The sad thing is, Episode 3 will further prove that loveless marriages are everywhere, and they happen no matter how hard you try to avoid it. So, yes, things will get even more devastating in the late 19th century, and we need to talk about it. As you might remember, in the very first episode of Season 3, we got a clear look at how strong Gladys and Billy's relationship is. There was even a hint that Billy might propose marriage soon, proving that despite their youth, these two were extremely serious about their relationship. And yet Bertha wasted no time making her disapproval known. Later, when she discovered Gladys spent the night at Billy's house, she immediately rushed to get her daughter back, asserting her control early on and reminding everyone who really holds the power. Unfortunately, her power move worked, and even Billy could not survive this rage storm. He broke up with Gladys and made us all disappointed in him. I mean, we were all rooting for this young couple, and look at where they are now. Plus, is it just me, or did Billy truly seem so different from past suitors who quickly gave up because they knew George wouldn't approve? He was more determined than Archie Baldwin from Season 1, that's for sure, and clearly more interested than Oscar in Season 2. I thought maybe, just maybe, he could challenge the power of the Russells for once and win Gladys's against all odds. Well, that simply did not work. That being said, clearly Billy did not actually want to do that. In fact, the real reason for Billy's sudden decision is a chilling conversation between Bertha and Billy's mother. I mean, even Gladys's sudden escape could not stop Bertha's relentless plan for her to marry the Duke of Buckingham, which is crazy to me. Like, I'm no mother, but tell me, would you force your daughter to get married with someone she doesn't love? Especially after she leaves the house to escape this fate? Or am I the only one who finds her advances simply too much? I mean, she went so far that she openly threatened that George could destroy Billy's future if he doesn't back off. I found this scene so gut-wrenching because it shows how ruthless Bertha can truly be, willing to use any means to secure her daughter's future. And you guys know how much I truly love Bertha. So imagine my jaw dropping on the floor seeing her going this far. But let me know if you were as disappointed in Bertha as I was. Now, feel free to fight me in the comments, but to me, Billy's fear and insecurity after this conversation made so much sense. He's too nervous to even approach George at a party they both attend, and he realizes that no matter how much he cares for Gladys, he can never match the Russells' wealth or influence. And you know what? It is true. Even if he manages to get married to Gladys one day, he will always be undermined by her parents, and honestly, no one deserves such belittling treatment. At one point in the episode, Billy arrives at the Russell household and breaks up with Gladys at the back door, leaving her stunned. Then, when she goes back inside for dinner, she finds the Duke of Buckingham waiting, and with a lawyer by his side no less. Clearly, our Duke is plotting some kind of a business or political maneuver, and things are much more complicated than a typical engagement. Don't worry, Episode 3 trailer explains this even further, but I'll talk about it in a second. To no one's surprise, Bertha welcomes the Duke with open arms, but both George and Gladys look skeptical. The episode ends on that note, leaving us all hanging. Like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but to me, Bertha's plan felt a bit flexible before, but now it seems like Gladys's future is being set in stone, whether she likes it or not. What makes all this even more interesting is the perspective that Sonia Warfield, who is the co-writer of this episode, has provided in her recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter. Sonia said that this story isn't just about a family fight or a love triangle. She said that it's a battle over gendered power in Gilded Age society. She said, George promised his daughter she could marry for love, so now he's caught between his wife's ruthless ambition and his daughter's trust. So basically, it's not just about Gladys. It's about what it meant for women and families back then to try and claim agency in a world dominated by money and social class. I know through our modern lenses, all these look very preventable and at times even ridiculous. But for that society, this is arguably the most realistic story ever. And this makes Billy's breakup more than just a personal heartbreak. Instead, it's a symbol of the crushing weight of those social expectations. Sonia confirmed this sentiment and added, he knows he can't compete. The Russells are on another level, and George Russell's influence is something Billy can't and won't challenge. It's a sad reminder of how rigid and unforgiving those class divides were, and how even love wasn't always enough to break through. But the show doesn't only focus on the Russells. It also explores other women's struggles, like Aurora, who faces harsh social exile after being cast aside by her adulterous husband. As Sonia said, it wasn't just about marriage, it was about survival. And as we all know, it is always more difficult for a woman to survive, regardless of the time and place. George Russell's business gambles also test the family's unity. Once aligned with Bertha, the couple now faces a rift driven by conflicting ambitions. Sonia said, "Now we'll see what happens when ambition pulls them in opposite directions." As for Gladys, I don't know about you guys, but I find myself torn. On one hand, I want her to have the freedom to marry for love, to follow her own heart rather than bow to her mother's designs. On the other, I understand the weight of the world she's living in, where wealth and status can dictate destiny. We know from the episode 3 trailer that the Duke is not as nice as he presents himself to be. And that lawyer was only the tip of the iceberg. We will see Gladys marrying the Duke despite everything. And during the wedding, Bertha will finally realize what a big mistake she made, as she will see the true nature of the Duke. And yet, it will be too late to recover anything. Honestly, my heart is already broken for poor Gladys. But let me know what you think about the entire situation. On the other hand, Peggy's storyline took a turn toward hope despite the hardships she faces due to systemic racism and poor health. The introduction of Dr. William Kirkland, who is a Black physician, brings in a new possibility for Peggy to finally reach peace. Sonia said, "It's Peggy's time. We wanted to show her entering a soft life era after so much struggle." Well, I don't know about you guys, but to me, this hints at a new romance forming in the horizon for Peggy, where she will finally feel secure and comfortable as herself, and I cannot wait for it. Which parts of episode 2 has impacted you the most, and what do you think will happen in episode 3? Let me know in the comments below. For more weekly updates, analysis, and discussions on the Gilded Age Season 3, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.